I can't really remember. If I really thought about it, I remember because I used to talk about that because he was, like I said, he was the best basketball player in the state. So, yeah, when I'm sitting at his lunch table, remember that? hmm So, oh, and we went to Clem Haskins basketball camp together too. Did I mention that? Hmm. With Tony Levitt. Yeah, because in sixth grade, remember that? Like Tony Levitt, remember that? Oh, you want to talk about rocks? And what do you got? Rock? They must have these. They must have had some special rock or something, and like these. Remember Spidey? Spencer, and he got all them special rocks and stuff. Cause I'm like, there's got to be something else you do with them rocks. Cause I mean, just to look at them and collect that many, they must do something like really tricky or something for you, right? Because otherwise, why would you have so much? So I'm thinking Tony Levitt, remember that guy? He must have had some of them special rocks in his pocket or something. He wouldn't show me. Because I tell you, that guy, he didn't have very many friends, right? He was cool with it and he was smart. He had one short little guy. Remember, he was best friends with that little short guy and his dad out at what's that Wyzetta High School. He was the janitor, and so we would go out there and play basketball sometimes in the gymnasium, just for fun. When after school when it was because he was the janitor there, and I knew like 10,000 other people around there. Because remember, I went to school with all them down in Edina at Sobriety High Plus. Remember that? Plus, I started paint. Well, that was later. But and you're like, and Bloody Mary, my aunt and Jeff Bednar, they live in Plymouth, Minnesota, not right up the road from the 4-star general, the Gordon Walker. You really think I'm a guy that should be dealing with this? I don't think so. And so you're like, so this Tony Levitt, right? Remember? Later on, oh, Small, you're killing me, Smalls. There used to be a right on the other side right there, but see, now this was the thing though. See, Tony Levitt's parents. Oh, remember that? Remember? We used to go over to Tony Levitt, and he'd have these tortillas. Yeah, he's like, why did I ever show Nicky boy my favorite snack? Okay, he had these tortillas, and he put butter and sugar and brown like cinnamon and sugar, and he gave me one of them, and I don't think I ever let him eat another one. Like I, I ate them all every time I was at his house. No, I didn't. But we did that, but I tell you what, this is interesting because remember, in like fifth, sixth grade, he's like, Chuck, hey, well, how did we meet? I can't remember. He just asked me to play on a 3-on-3 something. And so with his dad or something. Or we were on a basketball team together or something. I can't. At Hamilton. I can't. I'd have to think for a while. But he says, hey. And so he remember that there was like where Vic's place is, the auto guy used to be over on Foley, right across the street from my first babysitter, Pat. Remember, he moved over to he's off of Coon Rapids Boulevard there. Right next there used to be a Perkins right up the street, like 6 feet from Tony Levitt's house. And he was pretty smart for a guy that did that. He was really smart. I mean, he did a little bit of that, so it'd be like, hey, but he had some secret rocks or something, because that guy, you wouldn't believe it. I don't know if they ever got married. I wouldn't doubt it. Man, he had a really nice girlfriend. You wouldn't have the kingdom. Oh yeah. And I was always surprised. How do you do that, man? Because you're not hey, you ain't one of these here. You're smart. You're pretty good at basketball. You're strong. But you wasn't one of them. But you must have had some special rocks in your pocket or something. Because oh yeah, she was a looker. Oh yeah. And she was like a junkyard dog. I don't know where she went to school because I never seen her. But she was a nice gal, and they were together for a long time. And she was loyal. And Tony Levitt's parents, she had a sister, but they had more stock. Oh, you mean back then they had all like probably like $100,000? Well, probably shouldn't say. He probably got it locked up, and hope it's not a Liberty safe. But well, he's gonna have to lock it up now because I'm telling the story. But he had like $100,000 worth of Star Wars stuff or Star Trek or something. I think they were Trekkies, not 100,000. But they had this. Oh, so they had like all this like stuff, and if you were into like stealing stuff from people and maybe like worrying about money or had any brains and never even thought about hurting a fly, never crossed your mind ever to take anything from anybody ever, all the thousands of millions of people, because you were pretty cool and were friends with everybody for 5 minutes. Remember that? Yeah, and so you never thought about no, but they had all the Star Trek stuff. But you're smart enough to know that there was probably worth a pretty cool back then, and you're thinking the parents were into that, and and he got that really nice girlfriend, man. I don't know how he did it. Like, see, there's guys out there like you're strong, you're smart, man. I guess they both like to do a little bit of that there, and I don't know how. And the weird thing was, is her parents they were living together in like the 10th grade or something, and that's the part I didn't. I was like, whoa, your parents let you live here. You remember Scott Chin's apartment with it? He's like, I'm like, usually you got to be 18 to do that in this country here. And I'm like, you're doing pretty well there, Tony. You got that gal there, and she only about 16. She living in your parents' basement with you, and you're doing a little bit of that, and you're pretty smart. And I'm thinking, okay. Anyways, but I was surprised. He was we were buddies for a while. When I ran into Jesse Smalls over there running one time just down the block there, he was running a lawnmower in somebody's yard. Smalls, you're killing me, man. And you're like, what? You're gonna sing, who's this half the kingdom? Well, we praying for her. You say, hey, the Bible says, speak those things as if they're not, as if they were. Right? Remember that? So that's what we're doing. We ain't do. Well, I can't. You think I could tell you? I wouldn't tell you if she was sitting right here. It ain't. You think I ain't casting my pearls before swine? She might. Hey, do I? We gotta find that guy. We need to take care of him. We got Proverbs 31. Advice to a king. Now, see, you say you're talking to the word now, king. What, you think you're a king? Mr. Tough Guy? No, it just happened to be right next part of this here, over here. This is where I'm going at. This, remember that dress? And sticks with the string? Yeah, you got to get down in here somewhere. Well, this here's part of it. And this is the reminder why you don't do the thing. Mm-hmm. Because if you do, remember, you do that, you ain't going over there. See, so we got advice to a king. The words of King Lam. Hang on. Oh, I remember that. You know, I did a lock-in with Mr. Basketball and Morrow and them. They let me hang out with them real close for one night there. I think they did. Who was that? Slept next to him inside the school there up there in 10th grade. We did that. And I can't remember what was that all about. Who was there? It was kind of strange. Well, we did it for what? It was some kind of fundraiser or something. They locked us in. There was a couple, 300 of us. You remember that's the biggest school in the state back then? Remember that? So it's a little like kind of serious deal, you know? There were a lot of people at that school. Hmm. Yeah, they locked us. I remember something about that up there. Yeah, I think it was something. Yeah, it would have been. I don't remember what it was for. But you went up there at like 5, 6 at night. They locked the door and all that long or something. I can't remember. Oh yeah, remember that? Oh yeah, you'd sit down with Mr. Basketball and I guess they'd get about what 12 or something at the table. Yeah, and we all were eating. You remember how I liked them? That's why I think that's where the thing about the dress and the sticks, because that's all we ate salad every. That's it, salad and vegetables. The whole whatever, however long that did last. Every once in a while, you'd get a slice of pizza, but other than that, it was salad. There was no naked ladies. So you say, the advice to a king. The words of King Lemuel. The prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son, and what? The son of my womb, and what? The son of my vows. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law, and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted. Give a strong drink unto him that is ready to perish, and wine unto those that be of heavy hearts. Oh, I gotta go to bed. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open thy mouth for the dumb and the cause of all such as are appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. See, if I want to, I can read at a normal pace, but I like to go slower. All right. Here's for the future wife. This is what you're gonna get every night. And then remember, yeah, when daddy gets some of this hair, oh yeah, you already know. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a rose garden. Every morning, daddy gonna get up half hour early. Go out there, get you a rose, come back in, write you a little sweet little note on that post-it thingies there they call them. Oh yeah, yeah, right. And then I'm gonna hide them all over the house and surprise you. Well, I'm at work and all where, you know, I'm at my desk. Oh yeah, yeah, I already know it. And so you say, hey, a good woman who can find a virtuous woman. For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. She riseth howsoever it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth the field, and buyeth it with the fruit of her hands. She planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow for her household. For all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her of the fruit of her hand, and let her own works praise her in the gate. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellest them all. You say, hey, do you remember that thing on the news in Minneapolis where that guy drove that oil tanker through about 10,000 pissed off, angry people that were headed for Washington Avenue in downtown Minneapolis? About race. Remember them? Them ones? Yeah, yeah, you know, the ones with the boom boom now. And they were about to burn all them buildings down. Yup, remember that? Well, just as that, well, if you watch that, right? Okay. Well, first of all, you see, I'm not an actuary. Okay, remember that? an actuarist. But I'm saying, look, they had the freeways shut down. Are you listening? Literally for like, because these people started walking that, from the university a minute, that research place with all the book, remember that place where I was hanging out with the Maranatha people? Remember that? For a while, 6 months off and on, I say, probably more, maybe a little. Remember that? And you're like, hey, and you're like, all right. And you're like, they had all the freeways shut down because they had about 10,000 people walking down that road, the freeway. And they, remember that? Well, just before you turn onto that Washington Avenue Bridge where they got about 50 feet from, well, right across the street is that place called the Love Thing. Did I tell you that? Where that, what's her name? Oh, Brandon's mom, Brandon Faulkner's mother, and old Ray Ban and me and Brandon. We went to there. Remember, see? We went there for we we went there. Who is Freshy? How do I find out who is Freshy? Yeah, I'm going to bed too. So where do you find out the profile? Did they get a profile? Uh, so yeah. So there's another example. Look, if you ever think I'm this guy, okay, and if any of y'all know, okay, I told you a little bit. Remember all that? You wonder where he got that? His mom. Uh, so you're saying, so you got this guy here, Brandon. He know a few people. Remember that? And you're like, yeah. You're like, and his mother. Remember, his mother got in a car, so you were like within way closer than 6 feet, right? Yeah, from all the way up in Coon Rapids all the way down to that Love place. Yeah, you know the guy with they got the Jesus on the outside and the black, kind of like one of them black people, white people, the Love Cafe or something, and they had some play. So let's get this straight here, Nick, because we want to verify this. So this woman and her husband, yeah, remember, he's like Kung Fu Dave. I dare you to bring them polar bears over here, because I know Kung Fu and all that now. And I got all these little post-it notes everywhere for your gal. Now I got you half the kingdom now. Forget about it. You know, remember that guy? Yeah, yeah. And you're like, so that guy and you're oh, you half the kingdom. Remember all the yeah, okay. So this gal here and that guy, they was like, you all right. We're gonna let you in this car here, and it's gonna take about an hour one way. And then when we get there, it's gonna be about an hour and a half play, right? Mm-hmm. We might have stopped for something to eat or something too. Okay. So she was comfortable with that, right? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So y'all did that, and then went and then drove back in a car for like an hour or something, and then probably spent the night, had dinner, I don't know, or something. Yes, that happened. And you're like, th- so you knew some normal people that were kind of maybe a little popular or something, and you're like, yeah, they were nice to me and stuff like this. And you know that guy there? Hmm. I wonder if he ever went to like the Love Cafe or something. Just curious. So you're like, okay. You said what? Well, it's just another story that I remember with some normal people that probably never did any of this or something. Maybe one time like didn't inhale or something. I don't know, but they was pretty normal. It's pretty tough to be doing this if you don't know Karate Kid on them all the time and stuff. So I'm guessing he probably wasn't into much of that or much of that. Because that's why he got half the kingdom. Hey, cheat, cheat. Later. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Oh, God willing, I'll be back, though. Y'all figure out who doing that. Yeah. Please help me. We gotta take care of that guy. And him and Secret Doctrine and all them guys. Hmm? Yeah. And oh wait, and you think I should have a lawyer? Wait a minute, let's get this straight. First of all, that there is a. I don't know. What do you think, boys? I'm gonna have to take a look. You think we can convince the jury that that's a dangerous weapon, or should we not charge them? Well, go ahead, charge them, and we like to overcharge stuff, and you know they probably drop it, get them to plea to that other one. So yeah, now forget. Nah, it ain't worth it right now. Oh, you mean you probably shouldn't? The lawyer probably should have been like, yeah, probably. So why? Is it because you're so silly? Because you got a few people that, I mean, they weren't real scared of you, right? No. Maybe didn't want to hang out all the time, but they was pretty nice to you and you didn't hurt them, right? Yeah. Did you do anything weird in their houses? No. Did you steal anything? No. So mostly just be a good kid and eat their food and stuff. Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure. Who is Freshie? What is that? I'm not fresh eye. Fresh eye. Freshie? That was nice. Somebody Fred say goodnight to me. Thank you. And I feel good. At least I got somebody saying my first time. I'm gonna remember that person. See, that's like your first time. It's like my chat, my YouTube. Uh, yeah, we're G-rated around here, so we won't. But how do I look up who that is? Oh, I mean, not that. I wanna like. I want. I wanna see their profile though. Okay. For real though, I'm going to bed. Okay. I'm gonna turn this off. Actually, I gotta probably gotta do the dishes. I don't like to. They say godliness is next to cleanliness, or cleanliness is next to godliness. And don't let the sun go down on your anger. Don't let the dishes go to bed, which is what I've always said, so you can wake up fresh, enjoy that cup of coffee, and without having to worry about them dishes. Yeah, how do I see who Fishy is? Fishy, where's a pin message? Put user in time. Hide report room. Add as moderator. Okay, I'm gonna pin the message though, cause that's pretty exciting. Uh, but who is it? I'm pretty excited about that participants. Uh-oh. How come I can't see who it is? Hey, hey, hey. Oh, stop it. Yeah, they're not free. Yeah, so I'm going to bed, but I gotta do the dishes. I was in the I gotta do the dishes. So that was a crazy story, huh? So you got 10,000 really pissed off, mostly. Remember that? Yeah, the ones from the boat, mostly, yeah. And I'm not sure how many boom booms, but I'm pretty sure they had a few books of matches or something. And the governor's like, and he's watching the TV, and he's thinking, yeah, we probably don't want that here. It's gonna be bad. I mean, yeah, he looked a little nervous. That new governor guy. What was his name? I need a haircut, but I'd have to go to I mean, I got that buzzard, but yeah, I need a haircut. Now I know why them Jewish guys really want to wear them hats. See, it just, well, it covers up their bald spot mostly, I think. And then when the hair is messed up or something, you know, it is do like, I don't know. So you're sitting around, you're going, how did that 18 wheeler with gasoline and oil in it, how did that get going on that there if we had state troopers lined up? Oh, because we had 10,000 people really pissed off black people with the boom boom from the boats going up, all from the college. So they're like young and probably, well, some of them are drinking and probably doing a little, right? So they're like pretty crazy too. And so you want to explain to me how? No, you don't. Well, just leave it at that, right? Who knows? How that 18 wheeler, and that not only that, but that 18 wheeler, like, you know, he's saying, look, you got like a ocean full of people, like a mile ahead, and he drive right into him. Yeah. Nobody's that crazy. Whatever. It's funny though, the people that buy the star, remember? The odds of a guy getting on that freeway at that time with that big 18. Remember, there's 18 wheels on that thing. Oh, and by the way, did I mention it's carrying oil or gasoline? I guess they said it was oil. Either way, you remember the boom? Yeah, those things go boom pretty easy. And that's the brand new bridge from the one that collapsed. Remember that? So this is a brand new, and it happened right on the bridge. Oh, right over the street is that Love Cafe thingy I went to. Yeah. So if you're gonna tell me that a guy got on the road there because we had the troopers blocking it. And then he decided, hey, yeah, I think I can get through those 10,000 people. And he didn't see that about a mile away and go, yeah, I probably should slow down. Yeah. Remember them bridges I got to sell? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I'm like can I be an FBI profiler on this one here? Or not? So really what you got on that one is you got a guy that they said they got together and they said, hey, you see them 10,000 people? Yeah, they're about to burn all our buildings down just like they did in New York. So you know what? We're going to find a guy that's about to go to prison for, I'm guessing, yeah, probably something like that. Maybe they're going to go, let's go Jared Subway on them or something, maybe that direction. Probably pretty safe bet. And they said, look, man, you remember them 600-pound black guys? Yeah, you going in there. And he says, well, oh, wait, we got one option for you here, but you got to make a decision real quick. We're going to let you on the freeway here, and you're about to go drive right into that. And if you don't, you're going to be having a real bad day. And he says, you promise? You swear to God, I'm going to prison, but you won't put me in there with that 600-pound black man? And they're like, we promise. We're polar bears, you know. You can take our word for it. And he says, all right, where is it? Truck, you get on that. So it drives into them, and they beat the. You remember the Karate? You know. I mean, we still don't know if he even lives, but okay. But that was better idea, because nobody on the except for the guy that was gonna go to prison anyway. But excuse me. Nobody. Him getting beat up like that, I guess, was better than going in that little box. Remember that with the big 600-pound black guy that's really pissed because you woke him up an hour early. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one. They like to fix things for them polar bears sometimes. And he's like, okay, I'll do that. So I'd rather get beat up by them for a while. And you promise, you're polar bear. You'll keep your word. And they're like, of course we do. And but you got to better hurry up because they're almost to Washington Avenue and we need you to go now. He's like, oh. So they beat him up, right? And they're like, and nobody got killed, right? And we dispersed, right? We got rid of about 4, 6, 10, about 8,000 right there. So we're down to about 2. And we got them all nervous, and we got time to bring in some of them other guys. Keep them kind of off of Washington Avenue there. Everybody's happy. He didn't get it. He didn't have to go in with the 600 pounds. And he just get the heck beat out of him. Like, oh, I don't know. Have I told any stories where you think, hey, maybe they might have sent, you might be going in with that 600-pound black guy that they really don't like white guys unless we say, hey, this one, he's all right. Don't hurt him. Just kind of show him you're pissed off and start breathing real heavy and doing push-ups like you're gonna eat them, and then about the whole pod is just gonna like be scared to look at you, and they're just gonna drop the eggs off and say, "Good morning, sir." And he's gonna be like, that one, yeah, yeah. So he didn't have to go see that guy, right? Everybody's fine. No buildings got burnt or nothing. Yeah, it all worked out fine. So, huh. Could somebody tell me where that was really nice. That's an interesting one, no? Freshy, freshy. So fresh is a clean. So fresh is a. I'm waiting for for something to dry. I'm really tired, but I can't do the 2 or 3 hours sleep like Big Don. But so you say. What was that guy? And then right up from Tony Anthony's, I put the BP, the big. He had a twin brother, but if he would, there would have been 3 of them. Remember that movie Slapstick? With those big guys. Remember that? And like, yeah, if you didn't know Brandon, they would like beat you up. Remember that? But if you knew Brandon, they would buy you a little snuff if you were nice and stop by the house and said, "Hey, would you go up there about 6 feet and get me a can of that snuff? Because for some reason they'll sell it to you in the 8th grade because you're about 8 feet tall and you look like them guys from Slapstick. Nobody wants to mess with you. Remember them guys? Yeah. What's his name? He had a twin brother. And I saw that movie Slapstick later on. I'm like, yep, that's them right there. Let's see. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know what else. What else would you do? Like, you gotta have done something pretty bad to be able to have a few polar bears talk you into driving an 18-wheeler full of oil into that crowd. A little bit more than, hey, I just got caught with, like a couple of 8 balls of crack or something, or hey, big deal, right? I mean, you really had to. I mean, they had to. You'd have to. They really. Yeah, right. So I don't know what the guy. But yeah, I guess it's not a bad move, really, because we're a little different over this way. I don't know. In New York, they stole what, 10, like $10 million worth of Rolexes and jewelry out of one place they got away with, and that was just one. And they were stealing cars and everything. I mean, millions and trillions of dollars they looted. Yeah, the governor was kind of like, I seen that. Yeah, we're not gonna do that here. And I'm getting a little bit nervous. Can you tell yeah, he looked a little nervous. He's like, what can we do? Mm, yeah, go get that guy over there. But I tell you what, if you read my stuff, they probably still sent that guy in to sea. Yeah, They probably, according to the way they're doing me, yeah, he ended up going to see that guy anyways, from the looks of it. So, yeah, I wouldn't have did it. I mean, I'd never do that, what I was saying. But I mean, I just can't think of anything you'd have on anybody other than that, because they don't, them big, yeah, they like to fix those things pretty quick. And so, apparently only for certain guys, though, because, yeah, weird. Anyways, you see, well, I gotta do the dishes and then go to bed. So, you wanna watch me do the dishes? I'll be over that way. Yeah, I'll just leave it one. What's the difference? And the real scary thing is today, folks, as you can see with what the lies, if you listen and you say, well, you better tell that, see, because you'll see I'm honest. So, yeah, I'm not like the food and fuel. My cousin worked there. Yeah. And so that one, yeah, it was only like $10 though. And It was my cousin. Like 6 feet down the road is my mom's place. This is my backyard, and it's my cousin, and I'm with her boyfriend of a long time. Okay, and and she, look, so I was wrong, obviously, but what happened and how she did it is why I never trusted her again, because it ain't like she ain't never done anything like that before. A lot of people used to do, what did they call those? Oh, gas drive-offs. Okay. Remember that? See, now it's like a Clark station or something. It used to be. Okay, remember? Remember my parents own a restaurant right down there for like the last 50 years, and I've been running around here since I was about that tall. Probably not I don't know. Uh, so you said, well, what? So we was over, you know, I was with her boyfriend, and he had this truck that would only, it was insane. He said he's a mechanic. He could fix anything. His dad, same thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, these guys, well, we'll just leave it at that. It was her boyfriend, and he's not with us no more. So, uh, he had this old truck, which is crazy. You wonder, you can't make this stuff up, Nick. Barely. So your cousin's working at Food and Fuel there on 65, just down the road from the Holiday and the restaurant, right next to the Anoka County place where the black guy that's everybody knows, and he's really a nice guy and really never did. He's from Flowers. That's right. Remember Flowers? What's that name? It was his brother. Yeah, It was the oldest Flowers brother, huh? Yeah. So you got so I'm looking for my girlfriend. Remember, I got old scabies over there looking for hairs, and then like I'm like, where's and so I didn't have. Well, I went over there because it was right across the street from my job, and I'm like, hey, can I go use your truck to go get? He's like, well, there's no gas, and by the way, the door doesn't shut. And I don't know. I don't even think he told me that. And then he's like, oh, by the way, you got to keep the gas going in order to, if you let your foot off the gas, the truck dies. And I'm thinking, you said you were a mechanic. Like this, but I want to go see if my girlfriend's over there, right? And so I'm like, well, way down there, and I don't want to walk. And I'm like, he's like, I'll come with. And I'm like, well, we don't get paid for a couple of days, right? And you got any? No, you ain't got $10. Oh, my cousin, your girlfriend, is right up there at the food and fuel. I said, let's go up there and see if we get. And so I go up there, and we go in, and everything's cool. And I don't know, I've never seen her like that before. And this is somebody that I obviously know pretty well, right? And so, we're on the farm. It's not like she's never borrowed money or anything. And so I said I was wrong. This is one of the few. Now I remember that but the way she did me, right? Uh, and it was her boyfriend and her boyfriend's truck, and she's working there. Normally, she works at at the restaurant too, but she was fighting with her mom, and they got fired, and so she went and worked up there for a while or something. And so I said, well, let's go up there. We can at least we get $5-10 worth of gas, and we'll pay her back, or we'll borrow it from her. We'll get $5-10 from her. That's all we need. I just need to go down. I think my girlfriend's down the road a little ways there, and I'm like, this is my cousin. Like, remember that farm on Grantsburg? I mean, you know how many times I slept and pissed the bed next to this girl? You know how many Christmases? And I mean, this is my cousin, right? I spent most of my life with her up at this farm. Remember that? And I'm like, so we get up there, and I'm trying to smile, hey, not a big deal. Hey, can I borrow $5 or $10? Nope, don't got it. And I'm like, really? So no. And I was like, well, and I was young. This was back when I was still pretty wild. And I'm thinking, but you're my cousin. Like, we grew up, and you work here. And I'm like, can I? And it's our boyfriend. And we're like, we'll be right back. I just want to go check on what's her name. And I'm like, come on. And she was being so mean. So, Norman, like, if it was me, I'll tell you exactly what I would have done. In a second, I would have said, pump $10 worth of gas and find that $10 pretty soon. Because I don't have it. So go get $10 in gas, and then I don't care. I can, at least the rest of the day, I can, I'll get it to balance out by the time the boss finds out. We'll take care of it some way. Somehow. Yeah, that's what I would have done. Like that, right? You'd think. Your cousin. I don't know. I guess women are funny sometimes. She wasn't in a good mood, obviously. I don't know why she was mad at me. Maybe, I don't know. So, remember, the door don't open. Now, that's convenient, isn't it? Well, I don't know why, but the door. I mean, the gas thing was one thing, like, and so you couldn't stop, right? So you're not crazy as hell. And I never ever had any bad experience really with either one of them ever, really. It's my cousin. And that was a defining moment because that was the first time I kind of got in trouble. And I was so mad at her because seriously, like if it's your cousin, yeah, all right, it's a little unethical, but look, in the grand, all the stuff we've ever been through, and I want to go. I'm trying to go see my girlfriend. Just want to go check and see if she's down that way a little bit. I would have gave her 10. I would have said, hey, I probably would have said, Philip, just fill it up. We'll figure it out. You want to go? You need to go see your girlfriend, your boyfriend or something? I ain't get, I work here. I've been working here a while. You know, we'll figure it out for the boss. Yeah. That's what I would do. Now, y'all could say whatever, but that's how I would operate with my cousin. And so I get a little upset. I'm like, you're not my cousin. Like, why are you doing this? Like, all this we've been through, and I can't get, how about $10 in gas? She's no. like, you're not my cousin anymore. And I'm like, and I'm really mad at you, and I'm about never to talk to you again in my entire life. And that's your boyfriend, and now I'm pissed, and I don't even care because I'm never talking to you again. And so what I think I did. I grabbed a 6-pack of beer and put $10 in the truck, and we left. And I said, I'll be back to pay you. Wrong it is. That's what I did. And so what does she do? My cousin, who I've pissed the bed with for all my life, in the farm, on the farm, riding horses, the chickens, the cows, all that. And I know everything about all of them. And she calls the cops. God. And to add insult to injury, it was just a mess. You can only imagine. The bottom line is yeah, I was wrong, and but I wouldn't have done it to Michael. I wouldn't have done it to. In fact, any of my friends. If any of my friends ever came and they were really in a distressed, and they said, "Oh, I want to go see my girlfriend down there." I know what that feels like. And I know it's wrong, technically, it's unethical, but I would have figured out a way to pay for it. I would have taken it out of my check. Anything, one time, especially for my cousin. And most likely, I would have found the money in a very short time. And I never trusted her after that. Ever. Yeah. Nice cousin, huh? And I got in. So they gave me. I had to go to the Anoka County Workhouse for that one. At least it was the workhouse. Oh, that's right. I worked for Asplund for a while I was in the workhouse. Remember, for 5 days? No, and so. Oh, so to add insult to injury to that one, so remember the door doesn't open. Why didn't the door close? Why did that guy drive why would you drive a thing? So I go around the corner, and I'm sitting there holding the door, and man, and you gotta push on the gas, and it was bad. And then she called the cops. So there was that one. Yeah, that was that time. I guess. Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, but I was only like 20. I was really young, and I never would have called the cops. I mean, nobody. And I guarantee that girl, my cousin, and that guy had probably done a lot of drive, like real drive, fill up their gas and leave, like a lot. I'm sure. Just trust me. I guarantee it. And she did that to me that day, and there's just no excuse for something like that, as far as I'm concerned. I would have never. At least I wouldn't. Now, if you come back and did it again, and you didn't try to take care of it, and you were in distress, and you say tough luck. Well, if that's fine, but it's your cousin, and I'm saying I wouldn't have even done it if it would have been one of my friends. If Brandon or one of those guys would have come up and been like, "Hey man, can you help me out today?" Oh yeah, like, what you need? You want some food too? I got you. And for one time, if you kept doing it to me, I'd be like, forget you. And you didn't pay me, right? But to just flip out one time on your cousin, if you'll do that to your cousin, you do that to anybody, and you can't be trusted. So, yeah, I was wrong, but she's done the same thing from other gas stations many times. Maybe not walked in and got beer, but the gas guaranteed, right? A lot of people did that back then. Lots. Bad, not right, illegal. Yeah, you should be getting trouble for sure. But to treat your cousin that way, don't ever wonder why I don't trust you or why I might have ever been mean to you. If I ever would have said something to you. And I'm not going to say the name just on that one because it doesn't matter. Y'all figure it out. You want to that bad. Plus he died. He died a couple years ago. So when it says the enemies, no, this was 20 years ago. But I didn't forget that. Trust me. So if you're ever wondering, well, why did cousin Nick say those mean things to me a couple years ago? Yeah, that's why. Because you did me like that. You didn't forget. You remember that? And I'm like, I probably didn't talk to her for like 10 years. Yeah. A long time. Because I had to do, I think they gave me 30 days. But I had a job at Asplin, the tree company. Remember that? Oh, that's another job I had. Chainsaws, remember? I like them. Remember? Still like the chainsaws, yeah. So, but you say, well, yeah, yeah, it's bad, but it's not like physically like assaulting and robbing somebody, right? But at least I admit to some of the stuff that would be one thing so far that was true. I was 20. I wasn't even 21. Maybe I was 20 barely. Maybe I was 21. I'm sure I was because I probably wouldn't have taken a 6-pack of beer. But I was mad when she said I was really mad at her. And I was wrong. For sure. So what on some things like that, I'll admit it. So you can trust what I'm saying about this other stuff, all the facts and the accuracy. And I'm not proud of that. Most of the people I grew up with probably never did anything like that or a lot. Like I would guess probably 90% of the people I've mentioned and that I probably never did anything like that, right? So I got into a little trouble. But so but it's a demonstration and my honesty. And I don't it's not that yeah, I'm not proud of it, but it's not like the worst thing in the world. It's not Jared from Subway. Check my computers, eh? The scary thing though is nowadays you never know though. They can do anything. So I guess the only chance you have is to be like I got all my computers syncing and phones and I only got one email now, so what else can you do? But the way technology is scary. If they really wanted to go after you, I don't know who they is. I'm guessing evil, the devil. The Bible says synagogue of Satan. Remember that? There's one right in Fridley there. Anybody ever drive by there? That was a big thing we used to, as kids, when we'd go to Moore Lake and play ball. People would be like, "Hey, did you know there's a real You mean Anton Levy? There's a real synagogue there's people in Fridley. There's a synagogue of Satan, like a real building, and it was back in there. Yeah, not too far from right off of the 79th or something, 73rd, between just west of 65, just west, and then like on the north side of whatever 73rd there. I mean, you only a couple miles from Moore Lake Health Club, Northwest Records. I spent my whole adolescent there, and we'd drive through there, and we'd be like, we'd be doing a little maybe, and you'd be like, oh God, what are they doing there? And it would Synagogue of Satan. It's real. Oh no, it's innocent. It's no big deal. Then why do they need that building if it's all fake? Yeah, it's real, and the devil is real. And they got those synagogue of Satans are for serious. Yeah, because I seen it. I don't know if it's still there. I'm sure it is. That is weird. That was crazy. That was scary. Seeing that place. Especially being so close. I always never liked that. I bet you there's a lot of people from my who are going, oh, I forgot about that place. Yeah, we drove through there too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For real. So you say, well, yeah, that was, but I think comparatively, I bet if you took all the people, remember that was a school, 2,000 people. Back then, that was the biggest high school in the state, and it was pretty big. So that was a lot of kids going to one school and then in the area. So, okay, so I walked in a gas station when I was 20 where my cousin worked, grabbed a six pack and put $10 worth of gas in the car, and she called them. It said never should have happened. And I'll never trust her ever. I don't care how bad of a day you're having. You certainly don't do that. You don't do that even to a friend. At least we didn't. I wouldn't have. And I know guys that would have been like, all right, hey, I'll help you out with 10. You can take $10. Want something to eat? Now, if you come back next time and you ain't got my money, I'm not gonna do it, but I do it one time for you. And your cousin and your family, you got to go. Nah, there's just no excuse for something like that. None. So I'm not saying I don't forgive her. Obviously, I've seen her after about 10 years. I'm just saying I don't trust you. I wouldn't trust you. And so if I've acted in a way or said something, it's because of that, and I don't trust you. That's all. But I tell the truth. I don't lie about it. Well, it's on paper, anyways. But all that other stuff is lies. Lies.
So. And I'm not saying I'll have. That's why I'm gonna pull my whole criminal report, and that was mostly driving. I guess I forgot about that one. I'm gonna pull my whole criminal report and just go through it. Because what's the point? Anytime you volunteer, and maybe I think what I'll do is I'll make a special, condensed, smaller version in case, explaining it more briefly, and then if somebody were to ask me, I could, because that way I could send a file if I ever wanted to try to volunteer somewhere, because remember we're supposed to have this thing called Jesus who forgives us, but a lot of this stuff is going to prevent you, right, from volunteering. Something like that that's so old might not, but it can still see it. And that one there is, yeah, there's no excuse. And that one's not even really a reason. I agree. There's not really a reason to do that. Well, if anybody's had a girlfriend or a boyfriend back when you're that age, and you decide you want to go see what they're doing, I don't know. You want to go say hi, or you want to go see your girlfriend. You're young, you're stupid. And you think you can trust your cousin on one, you've been working with her too. Probably borrowed her money many times. Few $5, $10, $20. And she just does you like that. Man. You know what I mean? You got me on paper for that, and you didn't need to. Not that you wouldn't deserve it, but I mean, if you're gonna do that to family, yeah, don't ever wonder why I don't trust you or don't respect you. So I can't even remember. I'll have to look at it. I think I had to plead to petty theft or something because my cousin did me like that. Yeah, most people are like, well, you shouldn't have did it. No. And if it wouldn't have been my cousin, there's no way in hell I would have done it. No way in hell. You know? And they're like, well, you got what you got coming, boy. No, you just don't do that kind of thing for your family. For such a small, petty amount. I don't know what she was thinking that day. To give me a criminal record. What a nasty, nasty woman. See, right? I guarantee if you read the police report, you're not gonna read that was my cousin that was working. No. You wouldn't know anything about the door not having a lock on it or not shutting. You wouldn't know anything about that truck. You couldn't. And it wasn't. It was just right across the street. So all I had to do was go one. And really, what ended up happening is once I drove up there, I realized. Well, I pretty much had to run a red light, or not a well. In order to keep going, I mean, I'm lucky we didn't get in an accident. I decided to go back to his house. I wasn't even gonna go. I was like, "There's no way I'm driving this truck. You can't. You can't drive it. You couldn't. You know. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could put the brake on, but then you'd have to have the gas on too. I mean, and yeah, you think that's a little dangerous? Yeah, I wasn't gonna go driving that down Highway 65. So that's why I headed back to his house. That's where I tried to pull in his driveway. Yeah, I might have had and it's just so at least you knew. At least I didn't think I was gonna. You wouldn't know none of that. You'd be like, oh, you're driving a regular truck, right? Oh, and you get in an accident. What? Oh, the gas. You got to keep the gas going. And oh, by the way, that was your cousin who did you like that. Yeah, you won't read none of that. I don't think. Maybe it is in there, but I doubt it. And so you can see that even when it's going to make me look bad, which, well, it's on there, and it's better. I tell you what happened. It looks a tiny bit better. It's not good either way, right? It's horrible to go and do something. I mean, but I was pretty rowdy back then. Oh yeah, I was rowdy papa. But like I said, I mean, I guarantee you, if it wasn't if you think I would walk in a place, it was kind of like I was sitting there talking to her, and I couldn't believe that she wouldn't help me out, and it's her boyfriend that they have a kid with, or she's pregnant or something, and he's worked at the restaurant too. Remember that? And it's his truck, and she still wouldn't let us put just $5 or $10 of gas, and she's just being mean, like the nasty woman. And so it was like I was just upset, and so I out of spite, I just grabbed a 6-pack, and I was like, whatever, go, I don't care. And then I'll be like, I'll be back later to give you, some money. And she calls the police. Yeah. You said, well, yeah. Messed up. So, oh, that nap. That nap is. I'm gonna lay down after I do these dishes, but that nap really, these stories are really kind of they get you going, and they I guess maybe it's hard to relax. Remember them, the pink ones on the, that might have been in North Dakota somewhere. Pretty sure, I thought it was Utah. Now that I think of it, though. Yep, it could have been, a guy in a flatbed wearing these pink gloves like that. They were pink. I ain't never seen these in pink. My mom's got some purple ones. Remember, she used to clean the restaurant for about 20 hours straight after she got done working at Mercy Hospital or Unity Hospital. Remember that? That place was nasty. My mom cleaned that. I mean, when they bought that place, her and my mother cleaned that place. So, I mean, she had her blood, sweat, and tears in that place. And yeah, she used a lot of these, but they were purple. I've seen these here in doctor's office, but I ain't never seen no pink ones. Especially, I ain't never seen a guy. And then on top of it, remember? He's got one of these, and it's pink. I mean, pink, just like this. And he's driving a flatbed. So if you ever wonder why I get a little nervous around guys with empty flatbeds, trucks kind of following me around, that might be why. Part of it. Yeah, we're going to the downs. So yeah, I'm not proud of that one. Or I mean, I can't really. There's no really. I don't have any. There's that one's pretty much true. Except they left out the details of, I think, my cousin, the door, and the cut. I mean, you'd be like, well, you didn't even. How come you can't drive a truck? What are you, drunk? Are you crazy stupid? You can't drive a truck across the street? Well, no, when the door doesn't shut and you got to have the gas going constantly or the in you. Yeah, it's a little tricky. Yeah, I had a little tough time on that one. But that's not like hitting a pylon. Them old pylons in the where I hit two of them, but you can't see. So you said, what do you do with them? Remember we got the priest to lower our diagnosis to eczema here. So mama, we got it. Your skin. It's winter. You're like, I'm gonna do the dishes. Yeah. Like, I don't want my hands to dry out because they will. So we're gonna put these on there and do the dishes. Is that all right? Is that okay? That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, so I guess there's that, and then there's what? Yeah, there's the DUIs, which, yeah, I guess you can't. Those ones aren't indefensible too. Yeah, you were drunk, and yeah, you were driving. Okay. Yeah, so I can't get around them ones either. But I haven't done that for 10 years. Okay? Might have got, they might have tried, yeah. Hey, what can I say? Pretty lucky guy, though. No felonies.
And
really never, but see, never just, well, for anything I was charged for, never deserved one. Mm-mm. For what I was doing at the time, for what they charged me, never deserved a felony. That's the bottom line. So that guy there that says, well, you ought to be nicer to that guy. No. Unethical. That's not how our legal system is. That's not how you're supposed to work as a lawyer. You put your personal biases aside and you say, hey, yep, I'm gonna tell you what that means there, boy. You make the decision, remember? Hey, I don't know if you notice here, but I'm kind of out of my jurisdiction. I'm down in Apple Valley that way. That's most. I know a couple polar bears down there. I don't really know any polar bears up here. And them that there, they trying to get you, and I'm telling you don't want to do that, remember? And so they don't have nothing. So if we take it to trial, I can, like I said, I tell you what, I'm gonna try to get a polar bear to help us. Remember? Why you don't? It's unethical, at the very least. And I am still upset. I'm happy and grateful that I was able to keep my mouth shut that day when you came back with the deal, of course. But I was smart enough to know that if I gave you one peep, well, you were out, you were gone. And then I tried to call you again, right? Kind of more of the same. Kind of more of the same. Tough to get a hold of, tough to get answers, and I'm not sure why. Especially when you like somebody so much. I mean, at the very least, you could see, like I said, you're surprised you get the unmarked Mercedes that you swept for wires and all that. It's the secret. It's the one you go when you go. You know you're getting railroaded, and ain't a whole lot you can do about it. And you go get your buddy client. You say, "Hey, I know you ain't that bad. You ain't a 25-time felon burglar like that other guy I seem to like. And you don't have one, and I don't. I know you got a record here, but I know you're alright, right? And I don't want to see you get a felony because that's going to ruin your life. And I don't want your life to be affected as if it's basically a felony. And so I'm going to say, hey, remember, it's going to cost some more money. But I'm probably at least going to get you out of that. Maybe we'll win the whole thing. We'll get it all thrown out. Or, the worst it is a disorderly conduct. Yeah. And why? I mean, it's when trucks, you start to wonder, is somebody paying a guy more? Or why can't you be honest? Or why can't you answer the phone? Or how come when you call it's leave me alone? Or how come when I ask you a question, it's if you quit bothering me, but yet you're supposed to be my lawyer. And don't you think I'd want to know, especially after the previous one, you'd be like,
Makes you wonder what's really going on. And then, especially when you really, really like somebody, remember that? Like, I really, really like Vincent Waters. Really like that guy. Really cool guy. I thought he was. At the time, I don't know what happened to him. Even Gregory Troy, really cool guy, but that's one thing. But, to not talk to somebody is one thing. But to not not do it the ethically explain what the implications of everything you're doing. I just
But then again, I guarantee, remember that, folks? For the stuff that I did, that other guys did, that I knew, that I know what they did, snitches get stitches. I ain't nothing, dog. I mean, remember how I told you I might have rolled over to the north side a couple of times, Alright, I knew it's a lot of gas. Alright. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of guys did a lot of different things that they didn't get caught or they didn't get charged for, right? I didn't hardly do nothing. And you remember that? Somebody smashed my house. Remember that? Okay. Yeah. hmm So a lot of people did a lot of different stuff. And so in the grand scheme of what, yeah, okay, I got charged. Taking a 6-pack of beer and putting $10 in a piece of nut crap that almost think he set me up. Like the odds of a mechanic, right? The odds of a mechanic guy not figuring out how this door don't lock. And I had called him up and said, hey, do you got a vehicle we can go? And all of a sudden, you can't. And then his girlfriend, my cousin, calls the cops. Yeah, it smells fishy too. It's a crazy world, man. You can't trust. It's like they say, that girl, I talked to her on the Power Talk just before I quit. She said, I can't even trust most of my family. Most of my family they've taken advantage of me, borrowed money, not paid me back, and just basically used me. And the Bible says whether that's 20 years ago or 20 or 2000, your enemies may be in your own household. Yeah. So just because someone's family doesn't mean squat. But what does it say that Jesus will stay closer than what? A brother? What's that all about? There's one, And so a lot of people have done a lot of stuff, and that's how I feel. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's absolutely wrong, and I would raise my children. Well, they would never see me drink alcohol if I ever got blessed at my age. I've seen a few people in their even in their 50s have babies. When I used to watch Fox News, there was a couple cops coming on there. It happens rarely, but I mean, if you got the best chance if you're going to be not do alcohol, right? And so the way I look at it, I'm honestly really compared to what I know, what other guys did that I grew up with, big deal. It's like nothing. Like now, to a little nun girl that never did anything wrong and is a perfect girl, and she's only 20 some years old. Yeah, she's looking at that and going, oh, man, right? But if you knew what I knew, what other guys were doing, that ain't nothing. I mean, that's Boy Scout, Cub Scout stuff. And these are guys that, and these were guys that were, jock sports guys, some smart guys. I'm not talking about like a Swanson or something like that, but I didn't know him that well enough. I don't know what he did. But other guys, I know they was up to some stuff. And it's not a big deal. A lot of people are, right? You know, a lot of people are. A lot of people did a lot of. Look at all the people continue to make stuff up or outright lie or completely exaggerate stuff. Like how many times? I'm gonna have to look. A lot, several times. So I guess it's the way it goes. And the only hope is Jesus, especially with stuff on your record. No alcohol. Don't get naked. Don't get too angry. Jesus, that Bible, that for a godly that's your only chance. Because otherwise they just keep tacking more stuff, till they're like, this is too much stuff, and then they just find a judge that'll lie or accept the lies, and then you go to the real can, right? So but you got to change. If you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do that, you work hard, you pray to God, you got a chance. Otherwise, you ain't got no chance. Even with a record like, a few DUIs and some of that, a few couple things like that, food and fit you show, and then you tack on 3, 4, 5 other things that you didn't do, and people are like, we don't care about this guy. But you can see how, if, for example, yeah, okay, so that the gas station with my cousin happened when I was 20. I did get those DUIs. You can see how easy it would be, though, with that, and then to believe some of this other stuff that is outright not true. And I guess they know that, so they do it. But why they would do it, like I said, because comparatively to a lot of guys from my childhood, and all mine are directly related to like drinking beer, light beer. So I won't even take a chance. A lot of guys will be like, well, I'm older now and I don't drive, and I just have a couple. My dad will say, I just have one or two here and there, whatever. Hey, I'm not even taking the chance ever again. It's not worth it. Why risk anything? Much less if you got half the kingdom on the horn. Why would you even take a chance? Why take any chance with that crap that got all that trouble? It ain't worth it. And then the Bible says to not, over and over and over, do not drink beer. No. Why even drink one? Why play with fire? I'm not. I'm done. I mean, I know. I really know. Not saying, oh man, I need my coffee like I mean, they might as well might as well just do a IV hook up with the caffeine, because without that, I mean, I wouldn't even stay awake, right? But as far as that, I know for sure. It just ain't worth it. You just can't do it. There's too many people after me who are willing to lie
And I got too many things that are true in the past. I got some things that are true. I mean, what? You'd have to be crazy at my age with your parents. You're on your own. And then you want a gal to get in a dress and play with sticks about this hair long with some string, and you can't even tell her, hey, look, I promise you, I guarantee you, I'll never touch that crap, no matter what, honey. I swear. It caused all those problems, and you're way too important to lose. You know, you're way, you are way more important. Your love and a life with you there's no way to risk losing that over some crappy beer when you wasted a lot of your life and got in a lot of trouble. And yeah, they lied about you a lot of times, but I guess maybe some of us are lucky to get to a point where you're just like, I surrender, at least to that. Still can't, the naked, still working on the naked lady thing a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Stuff, remember, I'm a guy, human being. Yeah. And so I guess y'all always gonna think about maybe having a naked lady or something. I don't know. But you're almost certain that you ain't gonna get any decent naked lady if you drink a beer. You know that. And you ain't gonna be happy, so maybe you gotta, if you don't drink the beer, you gotta, at our age, my age, and if you've had one or two DUIs, and I got several, you're not getting you're not getting a nice gal. Yeah, you're not getting, and you're already older. Now I know it's you said, well, it's a good thing I figured it out, and it's a good thing it's in here. Because if you can put it in here 1,000 times until you get it in here, you're always gonna be thinking about Grandpa Harold. Well, maybe one. I'll just let that sit in there. Yeah, it starts with one. Might be one or two for 10 years even. And if you ever learn anything from those guys that really, really got a problem and they can't, like, I don't know. I never had a problem where I had to have it. It was just, it caused me. Uh, there's that thing with drinking and driving and those troopers all over the place. They seem to somehow get you nowadays with that technology. You ain't getting that. They're going to get you. If they want you, they'll get you. Guaranteed. Right? So why take the chance? And for a little feeling? Nah. And then they own you. As soon as you take that sip of alcohol, you mean, forget it. Yeah. And a lot of those guys that really gotta go, they go to AA. And I'm not saying it ain't bad. I mean, I want to hang out with people that don't drink. I don't feel like I need to go to AA to stay sober, but it would be nice to know some people that do not want to drink, play cards with or whatever. But as far as having to go, like, I don't know, it's in here. But the guys will tell you, even after 10, 20, even 30 years, some of them guys, remember them guys that I've talked to a few times? There's some of them that they didn't ever had a drink for 30 years. And once all it took was one, and they kept drinking like all until they died. So they never made it back to here. And so if you can get it in here, right, and you say, hey, you let go and let God, and you just say, that part of my life, it ain't worth it. The Bible warns you, Oh, half the kingdom, she ain't gonna have it, and not any decent one. And there's a lot of little tiny Timmys just waiting for you to have a couple of them. Boy, he'll take care of you. Yeah. So you gotta be careful. The only chance you got.
Well, you say you know what you're saying, right? I know what. Here's what old Tiny Timmy's saying. Tiny Timmy, he's just like that. Tiny Timmy's like that secret doctrine or that Jeremy or whatever it is, Cal. And they're saying, well, and they're not even Christians. Don't you? That's my favorite. I love being judged on Christian doc. No, I don't. I think it's hilarious when a, a non-Christian wants to judge me based on Christian scripture and give me advice on how to be a Christian. And so here's what Tiny Timmy and all of them are gonna say. Hey, what didn't Jesus forgive? Well, my first thing is you're not a Christian. I don't know about Tiny Timmy and them, but secret doctrine and right. And I'm gonna say no. I do forgive. Uh, but I just don't. I don't trust. Well, was that what I don't? And if you knew my cousin, hey, what do they say? You can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friends. You don't get to choose your family. You know, you can choose your friends, I guess, but you can't. You don't choose your family. Hey, but you can choose whether to hang out with them or trust them, I guess. Nah. Well, growing up, I don't know. And I would if she was sober and she didn't drink alcohol or do drugs or smoke cigarettes, I'd reconsider my position, but not until then. So it's not like I'm this cold-hearted. That I'm just saying, for my own safety, my own sanity, my own serenity, right? I ain't trusting that person. I don't care if it's cousin or no cousin. Wouldn't matter. I mean, with the way she lives her life, wouldn't matter. Now, the fact that she's my cousin, I mean, that's even makes it more of a problem. But the fact that you did that to me and the way you live, no. Well, you ain't much better. Well, I don't drink, and I ain't never gonna touch a drop of alcohol as long as I live. Because I ain't gonna give Tiny Timmy the power to do anything to me. Like I said, the devil himself is gonna have to come get me. And I'm not saying that God may not allow that. All right. But see, the only way you guarantee that is if you don't take that drink. And that no cigarette, there's a tobacco demon too. All right. I seem to be all right. The coffee, that stimulant seem to be all right, I guess. Long as you stay away from that alcohol, because we're still trying to get some stuff done. That alcohol is depressant. It's a false. Yeah, you might get to clean in the house for a few minutes, but then you're going to sleep. Coffee, we're trying. You know what I mean? So you guarantee by not drinking alcohol, not getting naked without your wife, right? Not Not smoking them cigarettes. Remember, you didn't see any cigarette butts. My dad never did see any cigarette butts around that Trump rally, I guess he said. I never went to one. And then, right? And then you know darn well you ain't doing nothing. And don't get too angry. And you know if that devil comes to get you, well, you know God let him. And that's kind of like leaving it all out there on the basketball court or whatever. At least you know you did everything you could, and you did not open the door to the devil. And God, the guy allowing people to starve to death tonight, people freezing to death out there, and he's letting me go slay in that bed and get a little warm, little rest. Yeah, that guy. Mm-hmm. Well, not only on that basis alone, not because we have a filthy porn industry. Yes, sir. Not because I don't know. Does somebody want to tell me what's so special about any of us? I'd like to hear it now. Oh, never again. Say, hey, remember them people on the boat? What was so? Yeah. Okay. And I'm saying, you're lucky. And if you think you're entitled to a warm bed tonight, you better thank God. Not you, not America, nothing. Because there's a lot of people suffering and hurting. Not only right here in America. You say, well, big deal, we America. No. Mm-mm. Oh, you mean with that filthy Hollywood there? Oh, that, all the drugs? We don't make anything here anymore? What's so special about that? We've been sending they got all the smart people back in their own countries too, and they're starting to build universities and they speak like all the language. Oh, that you mean? Like that's pretty special, yeah. Well, what's so special? So you said, well, thank you, God, because there really ain't nothing special about me other than what you give me. And I'm going to thank you for a nice little quiet couple hours here, maybe. I had a pretty good nap, as you can tell. Did you say, after you've been through what I've been through, and I imagine there's millions, and it's tough to get to a point where they call that no reservation. Because I guarantee you, the Bible says that alcohol is like a serpent. It's like an asp. It's like this here, and it ain't like the rattles going all the time. And the guys will tell you it could be 10 years. And all of a sudden they pick it up and that you just don't know. And there's no other warning in the Bible other than fear. Remember that? And so maybe you ain't dealt with it yet, but you might, maybe not. I don't know. There's probably millions like me. Look, if you get rid of the alcohol, you get rid of the fear. Because like I said, if you get rid of that, the devil himself's got to come get you. And you can be confident if you're not doing that. God let him. God said the devil went to God, like he went to said, "Hey, can I test this Joe guy here?" Remember that? And you're like, he's like, "Huh?" And you're like, "What?" You're like, "Hey, Chi-Chi, right?" And you're like, "So what? I did everything." There's no, what are you gonna fight? You can't fight God. So if God allowed the devil go to him and say, "Let me go get him," well, you got to go, right? You can't. You ain't gonna. There's nothing you can do, and you don't have nothing to worry about, right? Yeah, you're not afraid to die. Nothing.
That's the peace that passes all understanding. That's the serenity, right? Because if that makes it, I don't know, I guess it took a long time for me to get there. But you get to a point, you've been through enough liars, enough people that won't stand up for you the way they're supposed to. And then there's nobody left but you and God, and maybe half the kingdom, if you're lucky. Hmm. And so, what do you say? You say like the other 10 million guys that went before you? Oh, pour you another drink? Oh, you're gonna trade it all for a beer or something? Or a glass of vodka? I mean, yeah, that sounds like an alcoholic. Because nobody cares. I mean, for a lot of people. I know it appears that really nobody cares except for maybe one half the kingdom left, right? Other than that, your own mama, well, they get old. All them friends you had don't mean nothing. They get their own lives. They don't care about you. They're tired. They got stuff to do. They don't care. Why should they? They're busy. You've been out of their life for 10, 20. If you find a couple guys that don't drink, hey, right? But it's tough to find people you enjoy when you get older, though. I've learned that. You'll find people probably that will hang out with you, but oof, it ain't easy being cheesy like me. It's not easy to find people you actually, for me. And so you're like, well, I'm better off alone. Except you want that half the kingdom and gonna go fishing up that where it's real good. Yeah. But even her, like fully trusting, the Bible says, y'all know what the Bible says about love, right? Cast out all fear. Whoa. Hey, let me know when you get there. I thought we've been pretty darn close there. Hey, it's long suffering, huh? It's patient, it's kind. That no fear? Oh, let me know when you get there, huh? Oh boy, you're close, ain't you? Oh, you're so close. What do you... God, cast out all the fear, please, of everything. Bring me my half the kingdom. Or bring us together.
And again, you know, you say, well, to any of them people, you said, well, you know, would they still have? Probably not. I guess they wouldn't be interested, right? I had a couple, 2, 3 girlfriends, but I was Rowdy Piper, and they they probably had enough. I understand. So I'm not. The only reason I mention them, which they're not, it's not that big of a deal. It's just to corroborate my honesty of my whereabouts and what I did, so that when I say, "Hey, this gal," and I get to cussing like a sailor because they wanna. You got some guy looking at me like, "Hey, are you Jared from Subway?" Well, hey, pal. Go look at my story, buddy. I don't care what they saying about me on anything on paper, buddy. What you got? What you want to do? All right? Because look, I told you what happened. Go talk. This here, most of this at the end here ain't true. Huh. I didn't do it. And if they're saying anything else, I mean, you got to get to stepping, buddy, because I didn't do it. You better, you know what I mean? I don't care who. Not being a tough guy, but look. I ain't gonna bend over and grab no ankles for nobody. And I ain't jumping in no 6-foot holes. And I'll tell you what, given what they starting to say, hey, I mean they're capable of anything then. And imagine if they can get a guy to drive an 18-wheeler into 10,000 pissed off the Manchesters that came off the boats with the boom, yeah, they can do anything. Now, through God, they'll have to. And apparently God's let them do this so far. Why? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I figured that if you get the no alcohol, the no, well, then maybe God limit them what they can do. But can you imagine if I hadn't have got this at least, and I don't even know who would see it. But at least it's out there. If they ever try to really, really, really frame me, somebody, I say, hey, go look at my YouTubes, man. And somebody sitting around, man, they'd have to do a lot of that probably, right? Just something. I'm guessing, not me. They'd be like, this guy, man, I never smoked pot before, but I feel like doing it now, right? I get through these, right? But it's all true. And you'd be like, well, don't hurt that guy. Yeah, he's a little stupid, moron, retarded loser, but he didn't do a whole lot with his life, right? But he didn't do this stuff, and he certainly wouldn't do anything they would potentially say about me. Because you remember, I learned real fast, huh? Yeah, I never want to go back with that big old 600 pound, when he wasn't my friend. Yeah. And so, for whatever reason, how they getting away with starting to do this, hey, I'm putting it in. I'm going to try to put a stop to it. Wow. Holy shit. Is that what I meant? You know, the bottom line is, seriously. And you say, well, why even your lawyer, man? Why? I don't know. I guess he looked at enough on paper and he decided I was a lost cause, and so he just kind of helped me a little bit because of my mom. And he says, "All right, well, I'll try to help you a little bit, but I'm not really." And I don't know. And you say, well, can you imagine if they actually got me on something and I went to jail and then they passed out a copy of what somebody's saying about me? Can you imagine that 600-pound guy? Like, they would help you bend your ankles over for you. You wouldn't need to do it for them. You know, we learned real quick. Remember, they all them guys. Oh, I knew you don't mess with girls and children and all that. I mean, you get to be. You don't treat girls, and if they tell you no, I mean, if they say, "Hey, leave me alone," you ain't bugging them for 12 days, 3 days, all that bullshit. You don't. A guy that would, man, I want to cuss because it's dangerous. Nobody that, unless you're Jared from Subway, and that's true, I don't even know. They could have framed him. You know, nobody deserves this. And I don't even believe it. Why would a guy that makes millions of dollars on TV think he could get away with looking at something like that on his computer? Same story up in Chicago. It's. I mean, I don't even. I don't know if it's true. I just using that as like the idea behind it. If you did something like that, remember? But then you got guys up there. Remember that? It's. I mean, how sick is it? How deep does it go? Where does the power lie? If you got people walking by you, they don't even care. How sick is it? What is this network that protects? Who knows? But I know I don't want to get hurt. And I know for damn sure I wouldn't be messing with nothing like that. You'd have to have a death wish to put something like the Jared or something. And that's the only reason I could think for real. If you were like that, looking at that stuff, sure. But I know I've never done it. Okay? Check my computers. But like I said, the scary, if they'll write all that, what else will they do to protect whatever they're doing? I don't know. Are you eating again, Nick? No, see. I'm going to eat something here and then I'm for real. You said, well, you overreact. No. No way. I mean, slow boil of a frog. You say that about a guy, and then you get him in jail. Yeah, man, you're done. There's no way. There's no defense. You know. You don't know how to treat girls. You know, and if you read that, I mean, I left her alone. I did. All it's pretty much all lies. Go read the facts. I know them. If I had to rattle them, I mean, there's just no excuse for that. None. None. We've all done stuff in life. I don't even drink. Evil. Straight up the devil. Gotta be. You know? It's like somebody wrote that playing, in poker, they used to teach me down at New Hope, Alamo. You don't play on the come. You don't write something like that and thinking a guy gonna do something else and it ain't gonna matter and we're gonna convince everybody he did that too. That's called playing on the come. A lot of these AA guys, especially nowadays, it's like anything. The quality of things has degraded. Yeah, the quality of you're not gonna find guys that are going to church at an A. Well, you might find a couple, but in general, like especially online, these are just people that got the same problems you do. They just set it and not drink for however long. Most people don't stay not drinking. They just don't. Most people have to hit a really, really bad bottom. You know. So it's making me angry because it's dangerous that you would want to hurt somebody or allow somebody to get hurt. Like I said, unless you're some violent rapist or some real sicko, and you're part of NAMBLA or you're on some you're like downloading pictures of children or something, then yeah, I mean, then you got a problem. You're having a bad day. Yeah, I agree, but this here just getting in, this a girl. I mean, I was completely framed. Okay, this ain't director and now my lawyer won't even talk to me. See, the thing is though, if they get you now, they're gonna get you scared, right?
Sure, they can come in with their power. They big polar bears, but you're gonna you're gonna be able to say something. That there's gonna be a little resistance. Whereas if you go out get naked, drunk, angry, and all that stupid crap, and you got a cigarette going and this and that, well, you're gonna be scared out of your mind with them polar bears, right? And they're not gonna be quite as confident if you're not doing anything wrong, right? They ain't gonna. I mean, they might come and they mess with you, but you're gonna be like, "Hey, what you doing, polar bear? You ain't supposed to be here." And he's kind of like, "Well, yeah, I know, and I just want to." But he's really big and strong, got them guns, and you're like, "Yeah, I ain't. I didn't do anything wrong, polar bear. Why don't you go back where you came from, man? Come on, let's have pee. You mean you're not all scared, drunk, and all high like crazy? Like I just take you to no, buddy. Come on now, go on, take a hike, man. Come on, leave me alone. Well, we ain't doing that no more, man. Go get somebody else. Go find a different goat. You know, and you're not cocky or nothing, because the meek, but you're not gonna be like scared if you're sinning, right? Because if you're in sinning, boy, you're gonna be scared. Remember how he said lion in the street? Remember that bad boy? Where he say, hey, you run when nobody even pursueth? Remember that? And then the guy say, hey, I don't want to go out there because there's a lion and no, there's a polar bear out there. Okay? So, you're trying to be cool and because you realize that if they really want to, they can just say, hey, go drive that truck down that them people there. And you're like, well, I didn't do nothing. So no. You know what? Okay. And then now you say, well, go look at my videos and my Facebook, and that's the truth. Please go tell a few people because I'm not sure you're gonna find. I'm telling you, if my lawyer, my mother's, and I don't mean no disrespect, but if you're honest, why he did me, and I knew it, but then this time too, kinda, he won't talk to me. I try to text him. There's something else going on, y'all, and it's way up there. This guy is like, you want to know, like the front of GQ, Mr. Cool? Yeah, yeah. And if they got him under control, I mean, they got everybody. Okay? Whether they offering him enough money to do that, or if he feel that way, or some power, and he ain't being objectively honest about me and his ethics, they got everybody. They own everybody. And like I said, the only one that's going to help us now is God. And the only way God's going to help you, right? Naked, alcohol, none of that. Because he's letting a lot of crap go on. Why should he be nice to us? Right? Yeah. Cheat, cheat. And, I don't doubt. I suppose on some sort of technicality, I don't know. I can't. I tried to talk to my lawyer and get all my paperwork, and he basically ignored me. And then I texted him again, and he's like, "Why you bothering me?" And I'm like, "Oh, so now I'm on a no contact, and now I got my own lawyer refusing to send me my paperwork, and now accusing me of harassing him too." Like, I want to cuss. Yeah, I do. And you go, "You ain't got nobody else though." Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And you're like, "Well, why does that keep happening? I must be a Christian. They hate me." The devil hates my guys. Because, I'm only so much of a peckerwood, right? Like little Timmy. Because I'm not Jared from Subway. Never have been. Okay. I don't have any child like with that stuff. You must, like, if anybody now in today's age would do that, you'd have to be so stupid. You'd have to be as crazy. You'd have to be, you'd have to have a death wish. You really would. Because there's just no way you could. I don't know why you'd want to do it anyways, but there's no way you could get away with it. You know? Like, how, seriously, how? Right? And so why else why else they would do that? Other than straight up Satan. That synagogue of Satan in Fridley, Minnesota. And it's scary. Who in the hell wants to go into with a 600-pound polar bear into a little box? Not me. And so, yeah. And you wonder why I'm reading that Bible there? Not because they're scanned. I was already straight. But and then when you start to take a look at in detail what they're saying, you're like, holy schmoly. You start to think, wow. But I'm gonna go take some rest, okay? Y'all take care. I'll be back, God willing.